How's it going, folks? Welcome to the very first episode of How to Summon an Apparition. I'm your host, Don Rizky, and this is my co-host.
I'm Old Man Bran.
Right, so this very first episode, we're going to talk about one of the biggest, I would say, chilling case that is unsolved until this very day. And I'm pretty sure you guys might know this case. It's from Japan.
But hold on, bro, before we start though, why is this podcast called How to Summon an Apparition Physically?
Right. To be very honest, it's, for me though, how to summon an apparition. It's like many of these crime cases. Well, basically, what we're going to tell you guys right now, it's basically most of these episodes are kind of like mixture of crime cases and paranormal. So it's a mixture of best of both worlds in a way. So we're going to tell you how these cases kind of like generate or created some sort of like a rift in between paranormal world and the real world, because in a way it kind of like these cases, they have energies between them, which we will discuss in the video. So the reason why we name How to Summon an Apparition, because sometimes these cases, they generate energies in a way that they create an apparition.
Don't you think that the best way to create a ghost
You can't create a ghost, man.
You can. If
cannot.
you murder someone, that person might become an evil spirit.
How do you know that?
Because where we're from Southeast Asia, and there's a lot of energies there and whatnot around here. And usually, a murder victim then starts haunting the place. So two things happen: the crime, and also
But we don't create. But let's just assume that these ghosts are sentient. These spirits are sentient beings. Okay, you cannot create a ghost. It's like basically I created you.
No, you don't create them, but they exist because you murdered someone.
Yes, in a way, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's why it's called
what he meant
How
is,
to Summon.
Yeah, it means like you triggered that thing.
Yeah.
To made it into a ghost, but then you don't create the ghost. Like
Yeah, you don't create it like you're God, but it's because of you doing the murder. It's because of you doing the crime.
And now this thing wants to be avenged in a way.
In a way, yeah. So that's why it's both best of both worlds.
Right, and that is why we name ourselves
How to Summon an Apparition Physically.
Yeah, anyway, so the very first episode, we're going to discuss about the Sadagaya family murders involving the Miyazawa family. This is a pretty huge case, by the way, and a lot of people actually have been into this, and I'm pretty sure that we're not the only ones who talk about this, but we're going to have a little bit twist what we think. We're going to act some sort of like a detective to it. We're going to investigate. It might not be we would say the solid answer for it, so just take our answer as just as a pure opinion from us both. So anyway, let's get on with it with the very first episode.
Yeah, we're about to discuss theories that we think might be
what?
We want to talk about the theories, like, because things happen, how these things happen, right?
Yeah, well,
the sequence of events.
There are that's not what we call speculations, not really theories. Maybe theories as well, but in a way it's more of a speculation. We have our hypothesis and whatnot. So anyway, let's get on with it. I'm gonna be forgot, guys. In this episode, I'm going to be the one that narrates it. So like different episodes, we're gonna take turns to to actually read the cases.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm going to be the primary storyteller.
Yep.
But in this case,
it's going to be me.
Don Rizquito over here.
It's Don Rizquito, amigo. Right. So let's get on with it, alright? Stay tuned. In today's episode, we uncover the mysterious case of the Sadagaya family murders. A brutal crime involving the Miyazawa family, Mikio, Yasuko, and their two children, Nina and Rei. This tragic event left a haunting legacy in Sadagaya, Tokyo on the night of December 2000. Join us as we venture into the shadows, unraveling the threads of these chilling tales and seeking to understand the mysteries that linger long after the crimes have been committed. We'll explore the eerie phenomena that defy explanation and uncover the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface. Our story begins in the Kamisoshigaya neighborhood of Setagaya, Tokyo, known for its family-friendly environment where the Miyazawa family, Mikio, Yasuko, and their 2 children, Nina and their son Rei, lived a seemingly ordinary life. It was a cold December night in 2000 in Setagaya, and the Miyazawa family was settling in for what should have been a peaceful evening. Mikio Miyazawa, a 44-year-old dedicated marketing executive who worked for a London-based multinational marketing firm, was working in his home office on the 2nd floor. Yasuko Miyazawa, his 41-year-old wife and a beloved instructor who ran a private supplementary schooling from their home, was spending time with their 8-year-old daughter Nina Miyazawa. It can be assumed they were enjoying a typical family evening, while their youngest 6-year-old son, Rei Miyazawa, was already asleep in his bed. Sometime during the night, an unknown intruder entered the Miyazawa home through a broken window on the 2nd floor, bypassing any security measures. Once inside, the intruder likely moved through the house quietly, possibly searching for valuables or simply exploring the layout. It is believed that Mikio heard a noise and went downstairs to investigate, possibly thinking it came from the 1st floor. This is where he encountered the intruder. A struggle ensued, during which Mikio was fatally stabbed. His body was found on the bottom of the stairs, indicating he was attacked there. The intruder then moved on to Rei, who was strangled in his sleep, unable to defend himself. Yasuko and Nina were brutally murdered in their bedroom, leaving a horrific scene of violence and chaos. The exact sequence of the events in the bedroom is not fully known, but the scene indicated a violent and frenzied attack. The brutality of the murder suggests the intruder was determined to eliminate any witnesses and leave no survivors. But what makes this crime even more disturbing is what the intruder did next. Instead of fleeing the scene, the intruder stayed in the house for several hours. He raided the family's refrigerator, consuming various food items, and left his DNA on utensils and in the bedroom. He even logged into Mikio's computer and spent time browsing their net. The specific website the intruder visited have not been disclosed till this day. This bizarre behavior added a layer of mystery to the already gruesome crime scene. The next morning, Yasuko's mother Haruko, who lived in an adjoining annex, discovered the bodies when she went to check on the family after being unable to reach them by phone. She unlocked the front door and stumbled upon the horrifying sight of her slain family members. The police were called immediately, and the investigation began. Authorities launched a massive investigation to uncover the killer's DNA and identity. The investigation revealed several chilling details and clues. These include personal items left behind. The intruder left behind several personal items, including a hip bag, a sweater, a jacket, a hat, gloves, shoes, and 2 handkerchiefs. These items were traced back to stores in Japan and South Korea. Unusual behavior. The intruder's behavior was highly unusual. After committing the murders, the intruder stayed in the house for several hours, using the family's computer, eating food from the refrigerator, and even using the bathroom without flushing. This behavior suggests a level of comfort and detachment that is quite rare in such cases. Footprints and sand. Investigators found footprints in the house that matched a specific type of shoes sold in Japan and South Korea. Additionally, sand found in the house was traced back to the Edwards Air Force Base in California, USA. Ransacked drawers. The intruder ransacked some of the drawers, dumping some of the contents into the bath and toilet. Some money was stolen, but not all of it. Odd happenings leading up to the murders. The Miyazawa home was an interesting house in an interesting neighborhood. The house was more like a duplex, with Yasuko's mother, sister, and brother-in-law living next door in the connected unit. Possible origin of the killer. The tools used in the murders were traced back to the purchases made in Kanagawa Prefecture, suggesting that the perpetrator might have been in or around that area before finally heading out to the Miyazawa house. Speculations on the broken window. The broken window on the second floor could have been the result of forced entry by the intruder, accidental damage during the entry attempt, or a noise distraction that alerted Mikio, prompting him to investigate. Time of the incident. The murders are believed to have occurred sometime during the night of 30th December 2000 and the early hours of 31st December 2000. Some reports suggest that the intruder entered the Miyazawa home around 11 p.m., but the precise timeline remains unclear. Further investigation by the police revealed that the suspect is believed to be approximately 170 centimeters tall with blood type A. DNA analysis suggests that this individual may have mixed East Asian and European ancestry. Despite these significant clues, the perpetrator has never been identified, and the case remains unsolved till this day. As of 2024, the police renewed their efforts. One of the many is by distributing flyers and displaying mannequins dressed in clothes similar to what the intruder is believed to have worn, in hopes of finally bringing closure to this tragic case. The intensity of the violence that night has left an unsettling atmosphere that many believe has created a lingering residual energy. Residual energy is often described as the lingering energy or imprint left behind by past events, particularly those that were emotionally charged or traumatic. This energy is believed to replay the same events over and over again, without interaction, much like a recording. With this, locals and visitors alike report feeling an eerie presence when passing by the Miyazawa home, suggesting that the horrific events have left a lasting paranormal mark on the house and its surroundings. Several media outlets, including TV and online platforms, have covered the Miyazawa family murder case, revealing that locals have shared paranormal experiences related to the crime. These reports include interviews with neighbors and residents who claim to have witnessed ghostly apparitions wandering the streets or standing silently in the windows, and experience unsettling occurrences around the Miyazawa home. Additionally, others claim to have heard the disembodied voices and footsteps echoing through the night long after the streets had quieted down. One particular account came from a neighbor who claimed to see Yasuko's apparition standing by the window. Her face shows a mask of sorrow and pain. Another resident reported hearing the laughter of children late at night, only to find the streets are empty and silent. Additionally, others claim to have heard the disembodied voices and footsteps echoing through the night long after the streets had quieted down. while some others reported feeling an oppressive atmosphere. For these reasons, paranormal investigators were drawn to the Miyazawa home, hoping to capture the evidences of these ghostly and chilling encounters. Just a few weeks after the incident, a team of paranormal investigators arrived at the Miyazawa home for an initial investigation. The investigation was conducted by a team of experienced paranormal investigators from the Japan Paranormal Research Society, or JPRS. The team included Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, a renowned parapsychologist and the lead investigator of the team. Dr. Tanaka has over 20 years of experience in paranormal research and has published several papers on EVP and other paranormal phenomena. Yuki Nakamura, a sound engineer with a background in audio forensics. Nakamura was responsible for setting up and operating the EVP recording equipment. Miyu Sato, a medium and psychic who assisted in interpreting the recorded voices and providing insights into the possible messages from the spirits. Kenji Yamamoto, a historian and researcher, who documented the investigation and provided context on the history of the Miyazawa family and the house. The team conducted multiple EVP sessions over the several nights at the Miyazawa home. They used high-quality recording equipment, including digital voice recorders and specialized EVP devices designed to capture faint and low-frequency sounds. The sessions were conducted in different rooms of the house, focusing on areas where the murders took place and where the paranormal activity had been reported. During one of the sessions, the team captured a faint, sorrowful whisper that was to believe Yasuko Miyazawa pleading for help. The recording was analyzed by Dr. Tanaka and Nakamura, who confirmed that the voice was not a result of background noise or interference. The voice was clear and distinct, with a tone of distress and urgency. Miyu Sato, the medium of the investigation, listened to the voice recording and provided her interpretation. She believed that the voice was indeed Yasuko's spirit, expressing her sorrow and seeking for justice for the crime. Sato described the voice as filled with pain and a sense of longing for resolution. The EVP recording sent chills down the spines of those who heard it, including the investigators and extended members of the Miyazawa family. Several months later, the JPRS team returned with a thermal imaging camera to further investigate the paranormal activity. As they scanned the house, they detected inexplicable cold spots in the areas where the murders had occurred. In particular, significant temperature drops were noted in Mikio's office and the bedroom where Yasuko and Nina were killed. The team meticulously documented their findings. In Mikio's office, the thermal camera revealed cold spots near the desk and the doorway, suggesting an unseen presence. In the bedroom, the cold spots were concentrated around the bed and the window, areas closely associated with the crime scene. As they continued their investigation, the cold spots began to move. This movement was unusual and not typically associated with environmental factors such as drafts or poor insulation. The team followed these moving cold spots through the house. In the hallway, the cold spots drifted slowly as if guided by an unseen force. Dr. Tanaka reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sorrow and dread while following these cold spots, describing it as walking through an emotional residue left by the tragic events. In the living room, the cold spots lingered near the area where the family would gather, adding to the emotional weight of the investigation. These movements were recorded with the thermal camera, showing a clear path of cold air moving in an almost purposeful manner. A year after the incident, an unpublicized different paranormal team set up motion-activated cameras throughout the house. These cameras were placed in hallways and rooms where activity had been reported. One evening, the camera in the main hallway captured a shadowy figure moving from the living room towards the stairs. The figure, though indistinct, appeared to walk with a limp, a detail that eerily matched descriptions of Mikio's gait from those who knew him. This footage, though debated by skeptics, is considered one of the most compelling pieces of evidence suggesting a paranormal presence in the house. Despite these findings, skeptics argue that the evidence could be attributed to environmental factors or heightened emotional states. Yet, for those who experienced these paranormal events firsthand, there was no doubt that something otherworldly lingered in Miyazawa's home. The brutal nature of the Miyazawa family murders has had a profound psychological impact on the local community. Residents of Setagaya have reported feelings of fear, anxiety, and unease, particularly those living near the area of the crime scene. The unresolved nature of the case has left many with a lingering sense of insecurity. As the perpetrator remains at large, community support groups and counseling services have been established to help the residents cope with the trauma and provide a sense of solidarity. Despite the passage of time, the case remains open, and investigators continue to pursue new leads and advancement in forensic technology. The hope for justice and closure for the Miyazawa family and the community remains strong. Public interest in the case has also helped keep it in the spotlight, ensuring that it is not forgotten. Over the years, numerous theories and speculations have emerged regarding the identity and motive of the killer. Some of the most prominent theories include personal vendetta. Some believe that murders were a result of a personal vendetta against Mikio or Yasuko. This theory suggests that the killer had a specific grudge against the family and meticulously planned the attack. Random act of violence. Another theory posits that the murders were a random act of violence committed by a transient individual or someone with a history of mental illness. This theory is supported by the seemingly chaotic nature of the crime scene and the lack of a clear motive. Professional hit. Some speculate that the murders were carried out by a professional hitman, possibly hired by an unknown party. This theory is based on the precision and the brutality of the attack, as well as the killer's ability to evade capture. Paranormal influence. Given the numerous reports of paranormal activity in the Miyazawa home, some have suggested that the murders were influenced by supernatural forces. While this theory is more speculative, it adds an intriguing layer to the case. As we conclude this episode, we want to leave you with some open-ended questions to ponder. These questions are designed to engage your thoughts and encourage further reflection on this haunting case. Number 1. What do you think could be the motive behind the Miyazawa family murders? Number 2. Do you believe the paranormal investigations provide credible evidence, or are they merely speculative? Number 3. How do you think the community can continue to support the Miyazawa family's extended relatives? Number 4. What advancements in forensic technology do you think could help solve this case in the future? Number 5. How do you feel about the impact of unsolved cases on the communities and the importance of seeking justice?
So, Don Rizquito, I got a couple questions for you. A lot of speculations are made. Regarding the killer himself.
Yeah.
Who do you think it is, man? Do you think that the killer is a relative, or do you think that some people say that it's just a serial killer? Some people think that the killer was had a grudge on them, but at the same time, they don't have enemies. The
Miyazawa.
The Miyazawa family were well liked in the community.
Yeah.
They didn't have any enemies. So who do you think the killer might be?
You want to go first, or you want me to give my opinion on this?
I want you to give your opinion on this, bro.
Okay, well, we're gonna switch, all right? I need to know your point of view on this one as well.
I think it's okay. You go first.
Okay, I know you want to go well with this, but what's pretty weird for me is it's the fact that Yasuko's family, which is the wife of Mikio, she didn't hear like any struggle going on inside the other part of the house.
Right. When they actually live in like the same house, right?
They kind of live in the same condo. It's kind of like joint annexed, like it's basically just like this small ass room, right?
Okay.
Small ass room, but then it's just wall separated.
Okay.
Logically, if something falls, like let's just say in the other room, you would hear it, right?
Yeah. You would hear like how Mikio fell on the stairs, like boom, right?
Yeah, something like that. But then, to me, it's pretty interesting because no one, and I mean no one, the one who lives there on the other house, it's Mikio. I'm sorry, it's Yasuko's mom. I think the brother-in-law and
Okay.
sister-in-law. Sister as well.
They were living in the same
They
place,
were living
right?
in the same house.
And they were there when it happened.
They were there, yeah.
So you're saying how could they not hear it go down, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's from like bodies, man. Bodies are pretty heavy.
Yeah, pretty heavy, bro.
And the momentum, like when you fall down stairs, it's gonna be like really hard.
Yeah,
It's gonna
boom,
be,
right?
like it's gonna make like a super hard sound.
And also, I know that there wasn't that many details on how Mikio struggled, but technically, you would like yell, right? You would like make noise, like and struggle, right? If you see a murderer, someone who was about to do something bad to you in your own house.
Yeah, well, the police said he struggled, which means that there's an attempt in fight. There's an attempt in the self-defense, right? Somehow, in a way, I would like to assume that. I don't know. Like I never been stabbed by glad.
Yeah, but you would yell, right? You would.
I
yell.
would. Of course, there's gonna be like some sort of battle cry if you ask me.
Yeah, right.
Or
how
maybe
can mother not hear that?
if it's not Mikio, it would have been the killer who made those battle grunts and whatnot.
Right.
Like even if we punch, right? Like
Yeah.
so like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's stupid. It's a very bad portrayal of a making movie. But you get the idea. But logically, I think that part is a little bit weird for me. I don't know why. And at least maybe the neighbors would have picked on something, at least.
But
Because-
according to my data here, the neighborhood, the neighborhood was kind of empty already, bro. Like
they were all sleeping.
not only were if they were there, they were sleeping.
Yeah.
But most neighbors have already evacuated the place. Like the place was about to be bought by some kind of big shot corporation. They were about to turn into something else.
Okay.
So there weren't that many neighbors.
Yeah, which means that it's a quiet neighborhood.
Quite
right?
quiet neighborhood.
Quiet neighborhood.
So if I'm not mistaken, the Miyazawa family is one of the last remaining people in that neighborhood that stayed in the house.
Mm.
And one of the reasons why they didn't want to leave that area is because the eldest son, Ray, had mental disabilities. And that place was udah paling cocok di situ. Apa bahasa Inggrisnya? It's like the most suitable place for a kid who has mental issues. That's why they didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they sound like the environment in a way. Because
Yeah, they like
thought
the
it's-
environment.
Yeah, well, going back to the background of Kamisoshi Gaya, and the neighborhood is known for its friendliness and peacefulness. It's a pretty famous neighborhood.
Yeah.
But then I think the fact that it's too peaceful, I think that's also kind of like the fact that it's too peaceful, it's kind of like a drawback as well, because that just means, people are expecting nothing will happen. Yeah,
right?
nothing's gonna happen.
So if
But
something falls, it's like, oh, it's probably not a murderer.
yeah. It's like they're too positive, thinking that, it's a peaceful neighborhood.
Right.
Like no one's gonna kill nobody.
But you want to say that the mom of Yasuko has something to do with the murder.
I do not know. I do not want to make that claim. I'm just saying that it's pretty weird for me to find out that, despite them living in the same house together, they didn't hear or picked on anything. I think that's pretty weird.
Or they claim they didn't hear it.
Or it could be. We don't know.
It's even more chilling if they did hear it happening. They know it's going on because they were in on it, but they're leaving it happen because they were part of it. Is that what you're saying? I'm saying it. If you don't want to say
it's
I'm
kind of
saying
it kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like the condition. I'm not saying like the plot lines and everything, but the condition is kind of like, oh no, never mind. I might get it wrong. No. I might actually get attacked on this, but no, never mind.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm already going to be attacked by assuming that their parents had something to do with it.
Yeah, but no, I didn't make those claims. What I'm saying was, it's just pretty weird. It's something that I don't know. Maybe it's just not me. Maybe it's you guys who also notice this. But yeah, I think it's pretty weird. The parents or the brother-in-law and the sister didn't hear or picked on some, an impact or anything like that.
In your story, you also said that the window
Not my
is
story.
broken.
Yeah, the window is broken. That's what it says, based on my research.
Do you think that window was already broken purposefully so that this perpetrator is able to enter and know exactly when and where to enter? Also, if they wanted to rob the place, if it was just a regular robber, why would they come in at a time they know that the family's going to be there? If you're robbing a place, then wouldn't you rather like nobody's there? But they purposefully entered the place when they know the family's going to be there. If it isn't a psychopath, what do you think it might be?
There are like different takes on this, man. To be very honest with you, it's like, where am I gonna start? It could be that. Since Mikio's working as a marketing executive in a multinational company. Like he's an employee, right?
All right.
I would say, and I'm confident to say that, Mikio's probably, been to different places, business travel and whatnot. And of course, he might be, he might just be picking up some, probably, no.
Okay, what then?
It's, he's probably like picking up, a very, I would say, very secret, like, information or whatever.
So that someone wanted him dead.
It could be. I'm not saying that someone wants him dead, but it could be that way. Or it could be that someone's probably jealous as well. Like, the thing is, we cannot guess. So much. Like we cannot per se. This is like the main intention of the murderer. Like, the nature of the case itself, it's very speculative, right?
Yep.
So we can only, come up with a billion of like theories.
Okay.
In a
My
way.
theory though is,
Yeah, what?
speaking of which, when you were talking about there was somebody that didn't like the fact that he knew some information.
Yeah.
My theory is that it was a hitman. It was a hitman. That's why we couldn't find this guy's identity, because he was such a professional. And maybe the parents of Yasuko
Yasuko
was in on that.
I didn't say that. I'm not gonna make those claims. I'm not gonna make those claims.
Hey, money talks, okay? And if you're in poverty, I think.
Yeah, but they're gonna sue us.
Oh.
Yeah, if we say the wrong thing, So that's why I didn't say it. I didn't say that, I didn't say Yasuko's mom.
Hey, it's just a speculation, right? We're not lawyers or anything like that, so don't have to sue us. It's just theories.
Yeah, but that's why I said it's like pretty interesting. Like we don't say that the suspect is them, but it's pretty interesting to know that they didn't pick up anything. That's the thing, and I don't know about the murderer being a completely psychopathic. It could be, in a way. It could be. Yes, that is true.
Okay, hold on. Imagine the guy's just professional, right? This guy is a professional, right? He's hired by someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone who wants this family out of the way, right? He's just doing his job. But okay, the follow-up question is, who is the strongest member of the family physically?
There is no information on that.
Mikio is the man, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So the fact that this guy started his attack on the strongest member of the family to eliminate the most threatening threat in the house. So he went for Mikio first.
Yeah, maybe it's not that. Or maybe he's just. It could be like a jealousy driven, or it could be, I don't know, like those stuff that I told you about,
Okay.
or it could be that Mikio was just such a well performed. Who knows that he's a well performed employee, and then someone didn't like him or whatever,
Okay.
and then someone just decide someone. The thing is, there are just some people out there, creepily in a way, eerily, is very competitive and just do not like to be, in a losing game.
Yeah.
And they would do anything to, I don't know, it could be that way. It's creepy because, sometimes I worry if I outperform people, there are just some people. I have that worry too.
So do you think that the man, if your theory is correct, the man who hates Mikio is the one who did it? Or did that man hire a professional, a calculated professional? Because this man, the perpetrator who went inside, I believe, he is very calculated, focused.
I would say this is an open-ended question, but for me though, most likely, I think it's a little bit, I hate to say that it's not impossible. It's not impossible to say that probably Mikio per se is assassinated, right? It's not murdered, but it's assassinated.
Assassination.
If the case was, he was was by the hitman, right?
Yeah.
But if it was driven by something like maybe the killer was just somehow unhealthily jealous of Mikio's performance, and he just want to.
If he was that person, then wouldn't it be easier to identify that person because he works for a company, he has a this and that and this and that. Like it'd be easy to track him down. This is why I said it's a hitman, because he's a ghost, bro.
Yeah. The hitman is a ghost. Oh,
as in a ghost,
okay. Yeah.
You can't track the guy.
Yeah, you can't track it because the guy is a professional.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit too movie-ish for me. As much as it's possible that could happen, but it's a little bit too Hollywood-ish.
Okay, fine.
I'm not saying that it's not impossible. It's possible that could happen, but the question is now, what kind of information that does Mikio, hold to the point that anyone want him out of this world,
Yeah. So okay, what job was he doing? He was a sales specialist.
No, he's a marketing executive.
A marketing executive.
Yes.
For what company? Sorry.
For I don't know the company, but it's a London-based company. No, I don't want to mention the company.
Okay.
For a safety purpose, I do not want to mention the.
He is a man that can get sensitive information.
Probably, I don't know. Probably, who knows? I don't know his scope of involvement in the business process.
Okay.
But it's probably out of my scope. When it comes to this, and also there is no data supporting this. But most likely, since let's just assume the killer is it's a has these psychopathic tendencies,
yeah.
right? Probably he has an obsession with Mikio. Who knows?
Okay.
Probably.
It could be that he is obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that he's obsessed, or it could be that the thing is the one clue about this the murder, he judging based on the tools that he's using, he probably came from this Kanagawa prefecture.
Oh,
Right.
right. Because
Before-
he bought the weapon there.
Right before going into
What was it? A
Mikio's-
sashimi knife, right?
It was a sashimi knife. Yes, it is. It is a sashimi knife.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, he brought a weapon in, but that weapon broke.
That weapon broke. Yeah.
Then he had to use
The kitchen knife.
The kitchen knife,
The kitchen
bro.
knife. Yeah, he had to change it to a kitchen knife. Yeah, that's true. So I think it could be that maybe one time Mikio went to Kanagawa prefecture and maybe came across this person, and I don't know. People are weird, man.
Oh, hold on. So he met somebody. So they saw this guy.
Probably there's a chance. I'm just saying. That's just my theory. Probably, I'm just saying it.
Right. You said here that footprints in sand. Investigators found footprints in the house that match a specific type of shoes sold in Japan and South Korea. Additionally, sand found in the house was traced back to California.
Yeah.
So that means the killer
Well, the killer
was at one point in California.
probably.
It
This
says over
guy.
here, bro.
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know the nationality, but it says one of the biggest clue of this person. He's a mix of East Asian and European. That's the one thing, and I don't know why, but despite the clues and whatnot,
That's why I said he's an international hitman.
no, he's not. I don't know. We don't make that speculation.
Okay.
It's just a speculation. Like, we don't say that is the answer, definite answer. It's not, but it could be that way. Plausibly, it could be that way. But it's totally up to you guys. Write down in the comments what do you guys think. Let us know. But this is what we think. But to me, though, me personally, I would say that it was probably someone that Mikio met. In a working, when he's doing work or whatever.
Man, I personally think it's a hitman because he's such a professional. He couldn't get found out.
Yeah, if you say it's a hitman, then I would say maybe it's a good way for the government, if they do want to get involved. Then I think they could actually take this into a wider scale. Oh man.
Apa? Water scale.
Wider scale.
A wider scale.
Hold on, level up. Never mind. We're just gonna keep this rolling.
Keep rolling.
Okay, let's get started. Let's get started. Oops.
Nice one.
Okay, so the case is speculative by nature. It's up to you guys whether or not you want to assume it. It could be a hitman, or it could be just some person with psychopathical tendencies.
Could be anything, guys. But now, since we've already spoken about the crime and the case itself, let's now begin going to the
paranormal side of it.
The paranormal side of it, guys. And I've got a couple of questions for Don Rizquito over here because he's the one who wrote the story.
I wasn't the one who wrote the story.
Yeah, of course not, but you're the one who recited it.
Yeah.
So, residual energy, right? What is the difference between residual energy and an actual spirit? Are they the same thing, or is it different?
Yeah, well, per se, the spirits, they're just one whole package of that energy, right?
Right.
They're just basically there, even without being created. Like, created per se, but the energy-wise, they're just there by existence. They're just there.
Okay, but the residual energy is
But the
this
residual,
replayable
yeah,
thing.
it's a replayable thing. Yeah, like certain things, um, it creates a I would say a certain type of energy that, a lot of times because I'm not a paranormal. Like maybe there are just some other dudes out there who actually got the skills of seeing these things. Sometimes they would often see these events play like a tape.
Like Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka here that you mentioned,
Yeah.
who is a renowned parapsychologist. Which
Parapsychologist.
I'm wondering what is even a parapsychologist. But back to the
I think no, honestly, you're asking what is parapsychologist?
yeah.
Well, para is from paranormal, psychologist. So I think what he does is he's trying to research, but obviously about the paranormal dimension in a way.
Okay.
But psychologist is more like kind of like maybe the intention for it. Maybe
Okay.
this is my definition of it.
Okay, because I imagined that a parapsychologist is someone who like maybe interviews a ghost and then tries to diagnose them psychologically or something, or based on like you said earlier, the lingering residual energy. The parapsychologist is almost like a forensics or something.
Yeah, maybe that's their area, but what's for sure is that their areas of research is those paranormal environment.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Here also you've said that on one particular account, since the neighbors have heard that there are disembodied voices and
Yeah.
they have seen apparitions
Yeah.
when they look at the Miyazawa house,
Yeah.
one of the residents claimed to have seen Yasuko's apparition standing by the window.
Yeah.
Her face shows a mask of sorrow and
Sorrow
pain.
and pain. Yeah.
What does that mean? Do you think that Yasuko do you think that's residual energy, or is it this spirit of Yasuko calling for help, calling for attention from people who might have seen her?
Well, the way I see it, though, the way I take it, it's probably traumatic. Yes, it could be traumatic. I don't know if this is true because I never experienced death myself. It's a very
Yeah.
it's a very complex
But
subject.
some ghosts, they're here to scare you away. Oh,
Yeah, well, it depends though. It
but
depends.
do you think that the Yasuko
No, no.
apparition was trying to scare people, or maybe they were looking for attention?
No, it could be. I don't know what kind of entity, to be very honest. Because there are some entities who can basically mimic other, like the dead person and whatnot. It's possible. That's why I mean, like I personally, we both haven't been there personally, but
course.
based on the research, that's what they see. But we don't know what it is. We can only assume that it's Yasuko because it looks like the Yasuko, right?
Okay.
But take it from a different angle. I would say it's a traumatic. Of course, it's a traumatic event because they had to survive. Fending off this evil person.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say if you were in that position, even if you survive that attack and you just live. Okay, imagine like this: a soldier who just came from war.
Okay.
They had
PTSD.
right? Some sort of like trauma.
Okay.
So I think that kind of somehow correlates to the pain and sorrow.
So that PTSD it comes in the form of a spirit. The spirit is showing the PTSD.
I think it's more of a manifestation of that the amount of trauma that happens around the house.
Okay. Would that also equate to, as you said,
As far
lingering residual energy? Is that the same?
Yes, pretty much is like that. The residual energy, how much the conflict, how much of that whole conflict created that whole energy in the whole house, from what I could understand from the research.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But it would be interesting if I could visit that place one day. I've been to Japan, but never been there before, despite going to Tokyo.
Hey, but in Japan, did you experience any paranormal stuff? Because Japan is pretty paranormal, right?
No. I did actually maybe experience a little slight of it. but I could not say it's a paranormal thing. But when I went to Kyoto, it's a fairly dark place at night. Kyoto. Now Kyoto is
Okay.
it's a traditional place, man. You could imagine literally like a
So no
like
lampposts and whatnot.
no. Imagine strolling through the alleys of where you played the game Onimusha.
Oh, yeah, Onimusha,
Onimusha. There were there were yellow tint lights around you, and you're walking down these alleys of these traditional samurai like
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah.
The Edo period. So they did still retain those structures, right? Those buildings.
Right.
And,
Do you think that these ancient structures also
they
help?
they hold some sort of energy?
Energy, yeah.
Yes.
So it holds that
I think
residual
so.
energy.
To be very honest, I think so because artifacts and those buildings. I think in a way, same way that Miyazawa's home in a way. Of course, these things. I have this certain belief where these things like the granites. They came from Earth, right?
Yes.
Essentially, these things are living thing too. They came from a living
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
The earth itself is a living thing.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Like wood. What about wood?
Like yes, exactly. Wood came from a tree, and tree is not a thing. It's literally a being.
It's a being.
It's a being.
Yeah,
It's just
wood.
that maybe the way they communicate with each other, we just do not understand what's going on, right? Like we're humans, we can only understand our own language.
Yeah. So
So
you think the whole forest is
Of
alive?
course, of
It's
course,
like
of course,
not
of
only
course,
the
of course.
ecosystem, but also it's one living being.
yeah, and that is
And one tree is
Yes,
basically
yes.
part of it.
yes, and that is, I think, the reason why they can hold certain, energies and keep. It's like a memory card,
Okay.
Like if something happens in there, like you can actually, save that whole memory of it. It
Right.
happens in there. That's the energy. It
Okay.
keeps like a memory, where you can replay over and over again.
Yeah. So
So in a way.
ancient structures with using ancient.
Yeah.
Like when you were in Kyoto,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would feel more residual energy.
Residual, yeah. Because I passed by, dark alleys and whatnot. Like everybody's probably asleep, like at 7 p.m. man.
Whoa. So what are you doing up at 70? Oh, right. Because
Because
it's
I
7 p.m.
was at 7 p.m. I want to look, what's the town like, and I was looking for food, right? I was hungry,
Yeah.
so you just got goosebumps.
Oh.
You got goosebumps, on the neck and whatever.
Did you see anything?
I didn't see anything. I was trying to, do a little bit of ghost hunting in there, but I could not just stay there for a few minutes. I have to stay there for a little bit while.
Yeah,
right?
for the ghost to be like, you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
show my face to this guy.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Like, imagine if it was a fatal frame. Like, fatal frame, you have to stay there for a little while.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can just like, oh well, there's nothing. I always stay here for 5 minutes and then nothing's happening, and I get away. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I was just looking for more questions to ask you.
Yeah.
So, regarding evidence, do you think that, since earlier I asked you if you think that these spirits are actually calling for help from us,
Yeah.
would you say that if you were to interview a spirit, that
I
they would
promise.
give you evidence, like, hey, this guy killed me? Like, imagine if I was a spirit, right?
If okay,
And I was a crime victim.
it's a,
And
of
then
course,
you,
I'm
you
just
bring
gonna-
your
right.
tools and shit.
Yeah.
You bring your tools,
Yeah, let's just say I'm a ghost hunter, right?
Okay,
I'm
and
a
then I'd be
detective.
like, yo.
I'm a paranormal detective, right?
Mr. Don Rizquito.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you who killed me.
Yeah.
It's old man Bran who killed me.
Yeah.
So go arrest him.
But they do not have that capability, right? Meaning, if they want to manifest that, like tell you, like appear to you in person, that's gonna require them a lot of energy to do that. They can't just do it by their own will.
You're absolutely right.
It's like it's like us. We're trying to exercise. How much energy does it take you to get up from bed, right? It takes you a lot of energy. It takes you a lot of will for you to be able to get up. Go for exercise and do something to make it happen. Now the same thing that goes with I think personally with with these spirits, right? They had to take up a lot of energy to make that happen, to manifest. So the only thing that they could do instead of like communicating directly to them by words, by spoken words, like what we do right now,
Yeah.
is they kind of lead giving clues to the investigators what happened.
Yeah, they just give clues. Yeah, they don't
They
be
do.
like, "Hey, this guy killed me, so go arrest him."
Yeah. They just give you few clues, this and that, and
Right.
and basically their job, the investigator, like detectives, like if you play Eleanor, you find
Yeah.
clues everywhere. You just make, kind of like put them into a whole story together.
Do you think that
That's what I can see from the
Right, of course.
research.
they were giving clues, and from the clues, like still there wasn't much, because the main question would be then,
Yeah,
apa namanya?
but then even the spirit itself does not clearly give example who did it and whatever.
Right.
It
Would you
just
think that-
tells you what happened. Like, oh man, it's like it's like you going through some things and then you needed someone to talk about the story, right? Like what happened to you, like in the past, where you are having like a hard time. It's like providing an ear, basically.
Yeah.
Providing an ear for that. So
Yeah.
maybe they were just focused on that.
So, do you think it's enough? Do you think these
Evidence.
paranormal investigators have come up with enough evidence from looking at the spiritual residue and whatnot? Do you think it's enough evidence to prosecute somebody, or to actually investigate more on?
The thing is,
perpetrator.
the thing is, not anyone would have believed in the existence of a paranormal plane, right?
Of course.
So, imagine these investigators talking to police officers, how they their expression to them, to these police. Let's just say me and you, we talk about this case. Even we have this certain belief. Okay, there's some other plane other than the reality that we're experiencing.
but that's
right?
not the point. The point is the Miyazawa family spirits
Yeah.
pointed the paranormal investigators to clues that may have been overlooked, right?
Yeah. Well, there are.
Then why don't we just collect the
Yeah,
the
but
clues
then that's not enough, right? But then
guess
that's
not.
enough.
So it's
But
not enough.
it's not enough to even tell the people who did what, right? The suspect of the case. It's just like they're kind of like venting,
Yeah.
They realize that there's there are a bunch of people and they're willing to hear, so that's what they're doing. But they cannot do it the way we do, like, hey man, how you doing? You look bad, man. You okay? Something like that. It's not like that, right?
Yeah.
Of course they do it differently. But then if you're talking about wanting to find clues who did what, like the killer and all, it's going to be a lot of clash, man, because like the police, they would think like, I don't believe this guy. I don't believe that
What the
they're-
hell is this guy talking about, right?
Right. So of course, in a way, it will never make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll never make sense. And if the police wanted to approach it in a logical way, then the only thing, or the government. I'm not criticizing the government, but one of the few things that they could do is just hire the Interpol, right?
Yeah, Interpol, they would have done that.
They would have done
Right?
that.
And by the
If
way,
they
this
wanted to.
happened like 24 years ago, right?
24
this
years
is
ago.
2000, right?
2000, yeah. It's like, yeah,
Technology is getting better now,
yeah,
including forensics.
yeah.
You think that if we had the technology now, back in 2000, would it have been better that we could have gotten more evidence and we could have gotten the guy?
A lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird, is it? Like
Yeah.
we're now in the future, but then nobody does anything.
Because it's all cleaned up, bro. You can't just
It's
go back
either-
in time and
No. I mean, like, it's either that the police are not interested. It could be that the police are not interested anymore in this case. But the fact that there are a lot of people advocating for this, for this case to be brought to justice,
yeah.
it should have been, brought up to attention to the police. Like, some police, I don't know. There are good cops and bad cops, right?
Of course.
So I don't know. That's up to them.
Okay. Would you say that
But if you're saying whether or not we can actually still continue and solve this problem, yeah, then probably yes. We got all the stuff now that didn't exist in the past, right?
yeah.
But it all goes back to the to the institution. Why wouldn't they do it? Right.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, there's no unless that there's Batman or
Batman.
trying to be a vigilante. But then vigilante are it's being a vigilante is going against the law, right? So
In a way, yeah, because leave it up to the police.
yeah, it's always the authority, but then the authority is not doing anything. So I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
But if you're talking about technology, yes, and we could solve it. No,
we could solve it
we
better
could
now.
solve it
Yeah.
better. Yeah, of course. But it's so weird.
It is pretty weird, right? How can someone be unidentified like that? But that's not the point. Let's get back to the paranormal stuff. Would you say that the paranormal findings are creepy? What if you were the paranormal investigator? Would you be creeped out, or would you be more like, you know what?
I would see myself as a detective, like detective of both worlds.
Yeah.
Imagine Constantine.
Oh, Constantine.
Yeah, John Constantine, right? All right, sorry about that. Yeah, imagine John Constantine. Um, it's kind of like investigating, through both worlds. Um, so I think being John Constantine, it's one of the few advantage where I can actually trace it a lot easier as compared to the police, using, relying on technology and whatnot. But then, I think it's what was that question again?
Yeah, I don't know what the question was anymore. Let's go to the next one, bro. Let's go
Sorry,
about
man.
the forensics, really. But let's get to the next one. What do you think the community can do to continue to support the Miyazawa family's extended relatives?
If I was the one who lived there, I'd probably try to research more, like educate myself on the case, research some more, and probably
Keep bringing awareness to
keep bringing awareness. And it'll be a little bit dangerous, but I would actually come into the field and try to look for some evidences that could actually support the progress of this case, and brought to authorities.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I have an interesting question for you. Okay, so spirits, right?
Yeah.
There are some stories in the media and a lot of real life stories as well that entail that a spirit is gonna be there and because there is something that they forgot to do or that they haven't accomplished yet. That's why they're still there, right? For example, if you find the body of the person and then bury him properly, then the spirit goes away. Thank you. And then goes to the afterlife because they have been completed, right? Would you say one of the reasons why the Miyazawa family's residual energy and the spirit still being in that house is because the perpetrator have not been caught, has not been brought to justice? Do you think that if that person was the right person was caught, and
Yeah,
would they disappear?
but then I cannot say. To be very honest, I cannot say about that. I cannot say anything. But the thing is, the main priority of the case is finding this person first, right?
Yeah.
There's even a theory that says, this person could also be paranormally influenced, like
You
a
mean this
supernatural
person is a superhuman?
affected. No, like affected by, I don't know, maybe by a dark force or something like that.
Like Judge who we were talking about the other day? Judge
Judge Holden, but
Judge Holden.
Judge Holden, but then Judge Holden is inspired from a person, right?
An actual person who has supernatural powers.
Nah, I don't know about that one. I haven't researched deep, but then according to the story, it's a fictionalized version, but it's interesting the way the author actually puts it. I don't know if it's true or not, but it would have been interesting if it was true.
But the point is, the perpetrator is someone who has supernatural powers as well.
There's a theory that says that, but it's
right. Tell me about that theory more, bro.
but it's I would say it's unlikely.
It's unlikely, yeah.
It's unlikely, but then probably if the person is, I mean, like, he's a psychopathic, he has the psychopathic tendencies, right? So I don't know, maybe this person is into supernatural stuff that he could have, like, did something to summon something, you know, like an entity or whatever.
So you're saying that the reason why there are
It could be, I'm
spirits
just
there
saying.
is because the perpetrator summoned entities in it.
No, not necessarily. What I mean was, the reason why he did, you know, those killings or whatever.
Sacrifice?
It could be, you know, it could be that he's affected by a darker force. I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, like he's mentally, you know, it says he's mentally. It is believed that he's mentally unstable, right?
Okay.
So it could be the case. Like he's empty-minded, and you know, the thing is, if you're empty-minded, if your mind is not right, then you know it's easier for you to get influenced.
So you're saying that this guy is possessed and then came in.
Probably, I don't know. Probably, yeah. Probably, plausibly. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying it's unlikely, but then, you know, it's still possible.
Okay.
You just can't really, you know, you can't remain speculative about the case because it's the nature of the case.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Write down in the comments. We would like to know what you guys think about it. And yeah, you know, let us know. Write down, and we will review all your, you know, one of the best comments in the next video. And we'll see you soon on the next video. See you around.
This guy, you gotta tell them your name and all that. It's okay. You can edit this part out, but like you know, I'm Don Rizquito.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry guys. You know, just in case you guys got here, my name is Don Rizquito, aka Rizky,
I'm Old Man Brand.
and we'll see you next time.
See you in the next one.
See ya.